to forge the narrative.
Hey everybody, welcome to Forge the Narrative. My name is Paul, your host. We all about Lost Souls podcast. I'm joined tonight by Ricky Addington and Red Powell.
Space Engineers, go!
Good evening, everybody.
Ricky's obviously been occupying his time.
Oh my gosh, 100 hours in a week, I think is what it said. I'm not proud of it. But that's my life now. And thank you, coronavirus.
Yeah. Hey, I played my first game of Kill Team on Tabletop Simulator this week.
Can you
how'd you like that?
Yeah. Is that, I guess the question is, my first question for that is, does it take away from the game by not having the actual models there? Is it like,
it's not Warhammer, right? So you're missing some of the thing. You're not playing with, well, I guess by and large, you're not playing with your models. You're playing with a 3D model that's either been taken from a video game or a picture of somebody else's model. You're not playing with your model, so there's missing a lot of that. And then you got a little bit of tech stuff to deal with. Whether it's how you measure range or being able to check line of sight or not being able to walk your model under a piece of terrain, a building or something, just stuff, it's not the same. It doesn't have that whole tactile feel of some of the other things we get from the hobby. But, playing with a good buddy, was able to talk about what we wanted to do other than that, it was fine, being patient with each other.
Let me ask you this, because one of my favorite aspects of the game is when my opponent isn't looking, is to reach over and steal a shield drone of his and see if he notices. So you can't do that on there, I assume.
You can still do that.
He's not looking at the screen. You can do that.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
You just have to, know when they're not looking, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe
okay. Might have to get a video chat thing going or something.
Get a snack or something. Yeah.
I got you. Okay,
yeah.
I'm in. I might have to give it a shot then.
Yeah, but I did enjoy it. How you go about building your army or whatever is you find objects, you just load up different screens and then save off what you want into your objects bin and then go and then bring that saved object into whatever thing you're going to play on.
This is already too complicated.
That's how you get your minute. But I did find some people had made. So I was playing Death Guard, so I was able to find some 2 or 3 different Death Guard dice patterns. That was exciting.
Oh, so you went all in on this? Okay.
It's literally a matter of clicks. It really wasn't. That part wasn't so tedious, but finding, searching through until you find one that has enough models for you to do. And if there's only one Blight Launcher guy, so if you want more than one Blight Launcher, you've got to copy it, whatever. There is a little bit of tedium. It's not, it's not Warhammer, but I did enjoy the interaction and being able to move things around, and I could still make some pew-pew noises.
Right. Well, gotta make do, I guess.
Well, with this, I started looking around at some of the other board games and stuff like that. There's people have put a lot of effort into this, and again, it's not a replacement. It's not a replacement for me, but it was an interesting way to spend a little time. Yeah,
we've been playing a lot of let's see here, Star Trek: Settlers of Catan. We've been playing a lot of that here at the house lately. So I think if I'm gonna. If I'm playing a miniatures game or a board game, I just try to go grab one of the other 3 people in this house and make them roll dice with me that way.
There you go. No shame in that.
Can't get them to play Warhammer, though.
I've been arranging my hobby area. I've currently both discovered and lost some miniatures this week. They're somewhere been moved and cleaned up, I know I got nobody to blame it on but myself.
No. You have children. And a wife. You're allowed to blame them for every bit of this because, Paul, you would not throw away, I believe it was a Belisarius call.
He's somewhere.
You mentioned. You would not throw that away. That is too great of a model. Now, your youngest son, he's young, he's innocent, he's not thinking. Maybe it ended up in a toy box somewhere or it got thrown away by your wife when she was cleaning. It was not you. It was not you. Just know that.
I like your industrious spirit here.
Yeah. Don't take the fall on this one, Paul. That was one of those kids, or it was that wife.
Having it in my hand.
Yeah.
I remember it being there, and now it's not there.
Yep.
It's custom painted to match the.
See, how could you let that disappear? You wouldn't have. No way.
You're right. You know what? That's the only thing that could have happened here.
Yeah, or who is your sketchiest friend that you've had over in the past couple of months? Uh-oh. Maybe one of them nicked it.
I've already asked them.
Well, of course, and the people who steal models, they're the ones who say, "Yes, that was me." That's not the way it works. They're not going to tell you, Paul. You better look at them harder. I'm telling you.
I'll make sure to cast an eye of judgment.
Yes,
out of some text messages, some social distance.
There you go.
Oh no, it will turn up. That's the thing they always do, right?
Well, it will now. Now that we put them on blast on a podcast, all of a sudden you're just going to find it.
Just going to find it somewhere.
Right after some friend just did a wellness stop in. Hey, just checking in on you.
Thought I'd bring you a jar of pickles.
Yeah. Mind if I use the bathroom real quick?
Oh man, this got intense. I really hope you find those models now, because somebody's in trouble.
I'm not accusing anybody, but look, if Colin happens to turn up in the mailbox, the painted doll in the mailbox. No, I actually did do like a model transfer. Left some stuff on the porch, and I was like, "Yo, hey man, check that foam, because all in there."
And they've got it in their hands, and they're like, "Yeah, no, wasn't in here, man. I ain't seen it."
Oh, I probably deserve that. But the hobby and rearranging, I've turned to find out I've got a bunch of Sisters of Silence, which is a hot topic right now. We'll talk about that in a minute. I found, I've been with the news of the new Inquisitor that's coming out soon with Psychic Awakening, or come out eventually with Psychic Awakening. I've been kind of going around and finding all my Inquisitor-like models. I don't know why. I just kind of hoped that they're going to come back as some type of, actual playable force.
Yeah. I really, really, really wanted to see them be fielded, because I think you can, to me, an inquisitorial army gives you such an opportunity for customization, kit bashing, all that, in the same way that like playing Necromunda lets you just go like wild with whatever you want to do. The Inquisitors are such eccentric, just weirdos, like they run the gamut, and you can just have a lot of fun with them. And so I would just love to see that in the game. I would love to see people be able to come up with really cool models, really fun conversions and kit bashes, put them on the table, and be a viable army.
Yeah, with some of the best stories over the years have been about Inquisitors being, they weren't, the ones doing all that. They were normally there with some other things, like Space Marines or Grey Knights or, whatever. Yeah, but they were the ones like calling the shots, pulling the strings, doing a lot of strategizing, and being able to have those types of, elements in the game. Although that may be something I admit is probably best in the lore. Like, it's going to be very difficult to have a human character, be a juggernaut on the tabletop.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I'm open to it, if it makes sense.
Yeah, I think. Well, even if they just bring in some cool tactical elements or something, there's something you could do there to
unlock some cool stratagems.
Maybe. Yeah, there's something cool there that could be done.
I hope so. But it's been a cool thought exercise, just going around and finding the various, like throughout the years, metal ones, all just old models, because the human models still pretty much are in scale. Like, they're all the ones they've ever produced are pretty much still in scale with the other human models in the game.
Yeah, they hold up. I don't think the Harlequins hold up as well. I've got an old school metal Harlequin, and it's yeah.
Well, they're standing flat-footed for the most part, so they're not like jumping up and
not very dynamic.
I think the cool thing about, especially with that new Inquisitor, kind of like you were saying, Ricky, how they run the gamut. Like, with Space Marines, we've always kind of looked at our Imperial bits and whatnot, but with like Chaos or Orcs, for example, there's been a lot of opportunity for kit bashing and things like that you can throw together to get to a certain extent. I think the Inquisitors really opened the door, especially this recent one with the Eldar army, the Eldar armor and the skulls and everything like that.
She's got a dragon!
Yeah, and she's got a dragon. Like, I feel like you can, her whole crew, you could make an Imperial Guard retinue, like, based around that, like, with that kind of aesthetic. I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it would be super cool. Like, I love the idea of being able to take an Inquisitor and carrying a theme across into an entire army. I think it would just be super fun.
Something that has not held up scale over the years is the Space Marine. I actually found, while I was rearranging a single, I think it was the RTB-01. I have one of those Marines built, and right now I have him positioned on the shoulders of Tigerius. Like he's giving me a piggyback ride.
What was the which edition did I start with? Second edition. So the second edition box set Marine. Remember the I think it was like 2-piece push fit.
And basically, yeah, holding the bolter in the backpack.
Just has the bolter
so it's
right
3-piece
across
with the backpack, I think.
Yeah, that compared to get one of those and set it next to a regular a regular Marine of today, and then a Primaris Marine, and it is shocking. Like it is, you don't remember if you don't compare them or put them right next to each other. What we have now versus what we had then, it is shocking when you actually put them right next to each other.
Yeah,
they don't hold up. Yeah, I keep them for nostalgia.
When those third edition Marines came out, I absolutely loved them. Like they were just so cool compared to the ones before them. And then we've
oh yeah, I remember the rocket launcher. Just the rocket launcher that came with that. I get with the third edition kit.
Yeah,
remember it had
with the hand that had it on the side.
The hand, yeah. Oh my gosh, I was like, we're in the future.
Now look at it.
Look, yeah, garbage. Get it out of here.
They are still a little short, but whatever. Primaris is the way to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, so
I do miss tactical squads though. I loved like kitting them out. Different weapons, loads out. There was a lot of fun with that. You had your.
I think they'll come back. I think they'll come back as Primaris. Like, the next iteration of Primaris will probably be very tactical. Like, if you ask me, like, I mean, this is just wish listing and guessing, but
yeah, I would like to see that just for. I would like to see that just for, I think, nostalgia purposes, right? And just for being able to build an army that way. Realistically, though, like in the past, 3 editions of the game, how often did you take the heavy weapon in a tactical squad? You were usually 5-manning them, and you'd probably throw a melta gun in there or something back in, so it was. It didn't actually see a ton of use in 5th and 6th edition. I don't remember really doing it a lot.
A lot had to do with like point cost and effectiveness of things against like vehicles and stuff. I mean, but that's all relative. If I had to guess, that we would eventually see some tactical options. It's like a software update, like a Java update. Like people needed time to like get used to the idea of Primaris and.
Yeah.
Then it's like on the day after the version shift, she's like, well, look, we've been telling you for 2.5 years that we're switching to this new version of Java. Like,
don't act shocked that it came along. Yeah.
Version 9 is no longer supported.
Ugh, man, that hurts.
I mean, I don't, this is just.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. No, I mean, it's coming. It's just, I mean, again, we come to our later topic, and it's the Space Marines. There's definitely hints that they are on their way out.
Well, okay, so there was a story that just hit. Right, we were talking about this before in the pre-show. Tell us what's happening, right? This story's up for free, so if we're not trying to give any spoilers, it'll probably be unavoidable. Spoilers will be unavoidable. So if you've not read one of the latest Psychic Awakening stories, you might want to pause now, fast forward 10 minutes, skip to the 30-minute mark. Something. Spoiler warning. No, spoiler alert. Spoiler.
Yeah, and it's a good read too. I highly recommend. Like, I mean, it's great. Black Library quality of fiction here. So I mean, and accepting the fact that our background, just because some of the controversy that's going on, I just want to put out. And I know there's plenty of people that are going to disagree. And I mean, if you guys have not got a chance to see some of the arguments over this, I highly recommend. And so this is the grim, dark 40k we're talking about, right? Like, the entire race of mankind is run by a near dead dude sitting on a throne that requires 10,000 souls a day to keep him charged and going. So none of this should be as much of a surprise. However, so the setting is, I mean, and I'm going to paraphrase quite a bit here, but you've got a Space Marine chapter that has been, in short, determined heretical by the Ordos Hereticus, which is the branch of the Inquisitors that specifically determine, if you've gone renegade or rogue or turned to, so the so you've got a Custodes and a Sister of Silence talking to, I think it's like a captain of the chapter, and he's got two dudes next to him, and they're on the bridge, and it's being told from the Sister of Silence perspective, and
so quietly.
Yeah. So she obviously doesn't say anything, but you get to the nice thing from her perspective is you get to see what she's thinking.
It's a short story.
So it's just three blank pages.
Yeah. So the Custodes lets them know that they've been deemed this, and they kind of give one of those like double take moments where they're like, wait, what? Like, you can't determine, like, we're not renegades. And the Custodes like, well, yeah, I mean, the inquisitorial decree. So go ahead and put your weapons down and come with us, and we're going to take you in for questioning. And the chapter, the captain is like, nope, we didn't do anything wrong. Like we like, I don't understand. Can you like present us with the evidence, and we can determine if this is a reasonable request? The Custodes is like, nope, I don't repeat myself. I work for the Emperor. Like, I only answer to the Emperor, and I shouldn't have to tell you twice. And so one of the Space Marines off to the side starts to mouth off, and the next thing you know, the Custodes has shot him, and it breaks out into a fight. And the captain decides to tell everybody on the Voxnet that to not give up to the Custodes, to fight and defend yourselves. And the Sister of Silence is like, well, that's pretty much it. We're gonna have to kill everybody now, and it goes down from there. It was pretty intense. It was a really good read. I highly recommend it, and I know that was like the TLDR paraphrase version, but you've got Custodes murking a questionably loyal Space Marine chapter. There might have been issues. I mean, we don't know the full story. I mean, for all we know, it could have been.
Oh, they kept it somewhat ambiguous as to what the actual crime was, or perceived crime. Yeah.
From what I saw, I mean, there was something to it, but we didn't. There might have been more to it, but they didn't really go into it in depth, and so I'm very interested to see what more comes of that point specifically.
Well, if I know anything about Warhammer fiction, it's that this will probably end up for the best for everyone. That's something else. That's not this. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably You're probably not even going to get a resolution to that if I know the way some of this stuff goes. You're just they're gonna I think GW likes to just stir the pot every now and then. They're like, everybody seems to be doing all right. Let's get them going again.
The universe, I mean, this is something of the constant themes. The universe is so big where this could happen in its own pocket and then never disrupt anyone else.
Well, yeah, but right. It does have. I mean, if you look at, we were talking about this, the Minotaurs chapter. Look at the Minotaurs chapter. They're a Space Marine chapter that one of their things is to go after other Marines if this situation happens. So if anything, the Custodes are just stealing a little bit of the Minotaur's thunder. It's something that does happen in Warhammer, right? Yeah. I'm telling you, don't trust anybody in gold armor.
It's just funny reading some of the comments, right? Because like some people are like, well, I mean, if they just given over to the Custodes, and it's like, you gotta ask, hey, have you read any of the other?
Yeah, never in the history of ever has that ever worked out. Has anyone ever in the 40k universe that's gone peaceably?
You know what it is? It's like in Transformers. You remember the Transformers, the movie, when they're like the fish people, that triumvirate thing. They're there pronouncing everybody guilty and they're getting eaten, and then the dude gets pronounced innocent and they still throw him in and feed him to the piranha. It's the exact same thing. It doesn't matter. Just also, let's talk about one thing here. First off, never trust anybody in gold. Dante. Sorry, Paul.
I was about to bring up Dante and the Sanguinary Guard. They are exceptions.
Let's talk about the fact that I'm telling you, Dark Angels are the hide and seek champions of the 41st millennium. Like, think about this. Like, these guys are just getting busted left and right. The Dark Angels, half their legion went traitor, and nobody's found out. I mean,
that was a lot. I mean, half a legion. That's a lot of people.
This was probably just some dude in accounting pocketed like 5 space bucks or something, and they're going to wipe out a chapter. On. Yeah, and half a legion goes, and they still haven't found the Dark Angels out. I'm telling you, my boys in green, they're good at keeping secrets.
He bought some embargoed apples or something.
Eldar. They were Eldar apples or something.
That's it.
Yep. Son of a. It'd be wine. I feel like the Eldar, they probably keep their pinkies out too when they drink it.
So that's definitely cause for expulsion from the Imperium.
I mean, unless you're Gilliman. And then, you know, I'm just saying.
Hypocrisy is all through the Ultramarines.
Yeah. I can't say too much. Here we go. Oh my gosh, here we go.
Now, don't at me.
Now we're gonna get the Ultramarines in on this. It's already Blood Angels every day. Weren't Space Wolves people mad at you already, Paul? Like now you're gonna piss off the Ultramarines fan base? Oh,
I just did another little spot on. There's a show called 40k Today, which it's a 15-minute broadcast they do daily.
Oh, who'd you alienate on there?
Space Wolves again. Doubling, tripling down.
Wait, what was it? Ferris Bueller said you can never go too far. Was that?
Well, everyone asks, it's like, should we blend in the Space Wolves with other chapters? And the obvious answer is, yeah, why not? Go for it. But not if you're a Space Wolf player. Those are, only filthy casuals would ever consider that. Yeah.
Should we blend in Blood Angels?
You could.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Oh, no. You would blend Blood Angels into Space Wolves. You would never blend Space Wolves into Blood Angels.
I just meant, like, would you blend them into a regular Marine? Like a book or something?
Even the book is questionable. We must maintain our lines and the other chapters. Obviously not.
I saw somebody. I don't remember if it was probably on Facebook because I read it. I read it in the past month, so it had to be on Facebook because it's not like I go out. But somebody said, I wanted to choke this person, but they said get rid of, put all the Marine chapters in one book and get rid of all the special characters because they're the biggest. They're what causes the problems in 40k. And I was then why play 40k if we're going to get rid of all the flavor of 40k and just blend it all into one vanilla book with no special characters? And that just seemed outrageous to me. And then I thought about it a little while and I was like, well, I mean, he's not wrong in some ways, but man, what a boring game.
We need that spice, man.
Yeah.
We need these things. Talking about that's the only reason I'm excited about the Inquisitors is because of some of the kind of the really cool ones we've had in the past, like Kodiaz, and then what's his name, the Kosmatov or something. I'm butchering
the guy in the chair, right?
Komarazov?
It's along those lines. It starts with a K. Inquisitor K.
Yes, the fact that he would nuke his own people.
Yeah. What a fun rule that is, right?
Anytime you can get away with doing that, it's like Skaven used to have that rule. I don't know if they still do.
Yeah. But what's funny is I always looked at it from like a Marine standpoint. I was like, I'd have to kill it too. And then you're like, oh, no. Guardsmen. You're just going to kill some guardsmen. And you're like, who cares? That's 3 points. Let them die.
But there's been several others too, just like named characters. And there's some in the human characters in the Sister of Battle range. I think they inspire a lot about or capture a lot about what 40k is to us.
Yeah.
In that. People, not that I could. Yes, I would love to say I identify with Dante and Mephiston just all the time, 24/7. But sometimes,
but they're so alien. They're so alien. It makes it hard to identify with a Space Marine, right? Because they're not really human. I mean, they were, right, but they're not anymore. They're transhuman. They're so alien. Their thoughts are alien, and it's the same. It's the same reason. I can't remember. I was listening to one of the authors talking about the Emperor and how, like, when he wrote about the Emperor, he didn't write the Emperor's thoughts and stuff, and he didn't write the Emperor from like first person because he's so above and so godlike, essentially, right? He's it's kind. You couldn't really identify with him as a character. He's more of a force.
I remember reading that interview.
Yeah. I can't remember where I read that, but in the same way, Marines are very hard to kind of latch onto fully. But you can think about these Inquisitors as like, here's a human, a smart human, or a very tactically oriented human, whatever. But you can kind of latch on to that a little more, and they can still get into they still get a seat at the table, whereas a guardsman doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, sure, anybody can identify with Private Snuffy here with his las rifle, but Snuffy doesn't get a seat at the table on the bridge of the ship when they're coming up with the strategy. So it's really hard to have Private Snuffy as your protagonist and still get what's going on. But that's what's really cool about Inquisitors in this. And that's, I think, why their stories are so cool, is you get to see this regular human calling big plays and making a big effect on the galaxy. And so I think that's what's really neat about them. And that, and the fact that their models are super cool.
They've got cool models over the years.
What's her name? Severina Rain that just came out a while back, right? I've
female
got her.
commissar.
Yeah, I don't play guard. I don't need a commissar. Got that model though. Like it looks awesome, and I would love to convert that up into an Inquisitor. Like she's got so much character. And so I think Inquisitors and commissars and all these little niche kind of units really let us have I think it lets GW have a lot of fun making models, and it lets us have a lot of fun painting models that don't have to be painted a specific way.
Yeah, maybe there'll be some use for them coming up. It's kind of hard for us to speculate on this thing, but there's certainly a lot of putting a lot of impact on the character. I mean, in character that gets modeled with a story. We've got some things moving and shaking. So we'll see what comes.
Yeah. I mean, while we're on it though, where's my Crude HQ? I want a Crude HQ, Paul. I know that has nothing to do with anything we're talking about, but I want it.
I don't guess the one in Blackstone Fortress.
Nope. He's an elite, I think.
He is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I looked at when that model was coming out. I said, please let him be an HQ. And then he was an elite, and I was bummed.
Maybe one day.
Yeah. GW, I'll straight up give you $50 for a Kroot mercenary. Look, like, I don't care. Put it in a white dwarf. I'll give you $50 for a white dwarf if you give me a Kroot army list. I'll do it. It's not like I'm spending my money on anything else right now.
That's how deep is the range though? Like, how deep is the plastic range?
It's
not.
Right? No, it's not. Kit. It's one kit deep. So wait, I'm trying to think. Let's see here. Yes. If you count the Blackstone Fortress guy, it's 2 kits deep.
2 kits.
Yeah, everything else is metal.
It's 4 poses deep.
Yep. You know what? And I'm okay with that. I'll make it work.
Don't hold your breath. But if you want it, I want
it. You're always there for me, Paul, and I appreciate that.
Let's take a quick break. I think we will be, if anyone fast forwarded to the 30-minute mark, we're not there after the edits. So you're going to have to skip back a little bit, but if you skip back, know that we talk a little bit about Kroot mercenaries, and so you've got a little buffer before you get into the next. Look, you know how hard it is to give this kind of spoiler warning and then have to edit the show?
That's tough, good. Dude. Yeah, I mean, but that's what lets people know that you put on a good product here is
trying to do what I can.
Yeah, do what you can. I've chugged a lot of caffeine, and then you said, "Hey, you want to record?" And so this is what you get.
Getting ready for your 134th hour of Space Engineers.
We're going to hit it. We're going to make it to space tonight. That's embarrassing, right? I've not even made it to space yet, but my rover is awesome.
I don't even know you. I'll see y'all in a minute.
FTN is brought to you by Discount Games Inc. Please visit them at www.discountgamesinc.com. And don't forget to ask Jay about ways to save even more on your hobby projects.
Hey everybody, we are back. Still got Red and Ricky here.
And that's what happens when an asteroid hits your rover when you're playing in survival mode.
Hey everybody, welcome back.
This is the Stir Crazy episode. I guess I've acquired some Sisters Battle. I've got 2 Exorcists.
Good start.
Because models are so good.
Yeah,
that new limited model. That new like release model they gave for her for the Sisters of Battle recently.
Yeah,
where she's like holding the bolter aloft. Man, that is a good looking model right there.
It is, and it's just a sergeant or whatever. But whatever, got that too.
Sisters of Battle lieutenant. Yeah.
Yep. So I think this is get something to get me through. Not that I didn't have models, but
Yeah. You have so many that you lost a Belisarius call. Like, I don't think you need more.
He'll turn up.
Yeah, okay. In somebody else's army.
Don't say that. Don't put that evil on me, Ricky.
Yeah. Belisarius call is going to look like somebody's Honda Civic. It's going to get stripped down, repainted. It's going to be rolling on a new base, and you're never going to know. It's going to be so sad.
But that's where it got me. I had this brilliant idea to like really rearrange and organize my hobby area because I've got this extra time, right? Like at least a couple hours a day that I'm not commuting or whatever. And now I don't know. Models have gone. You've got to learn the fine art of just embracing the clutter. When it comes to the hobby area, just embrace the fact that it's going to always be in some state of disarray. All right. A cluttered hobby area is a productive hobby area. If it's nice and clean, Paul, that means you're not using it, dude. Like, just accept it. If you didn't clean, you wouldn't have lost them. You're right. They'd be sitting right there on the shelf.
Yep. This is your fault.
And I would know where they are at all times because I could see it.
Yep. Either that or it got stolen. So I don't know. Pick one of these. But either way, it's not my problem.
I hate it that you're right. Like in this instance, you are very right.
I don't know that I've ever heard you say that. It feels pretty good. I kind of like it.
So now I've got the orcs and the Adeptus that I can keep myself busy with.
I couldn't play Sisters, dude. Like I told you, I'd convinced my wife to start trying to attempt to sit down and think about playing Warhammer, and so we got her the Sororitas box set. Remember when it was coming out?
Yep.
And I watched her putting those together, and thankfully my wife is, I think meticulous is the nicest word for it, but very, very patient. Patient is the word I guess we should use. But my gosh, like there are so many little pieces on that, and like I'm a Space Marine player, so it's like clip, 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 glue, sand. All right, we're good. All right, and I put together I was putting together models, and she was putting together models, and I put together like 10 intercessors, and here she was still clipping out like that. Not a banner. What is it? Something like it's like a shrine thing on a pole. Mm-hmm. For that Sisters game. I was like, oh my gosh, I would have just cut through that, not paying attention. So it definitely goes to her pace. But those things, there's so much detail on those things, and it's so tiny. Like, I don't know how Eldar players do it. I don't know how Sisters players do it. I don't know how Sisters players do it now. I guess before it was just pop. I think
the Sisters are 8 pieces per person.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, hey, it used to be 1, so I guess they've got some time to make up, right? So all that time they saved on those metal models, guess what? You're going to earn it back in hobby now.
That's funny. Well, I am. These exorcists are a bit intimidating. I mean, they're just with the sheer amount of. I mean, I haven't looked at the sprues to see how it all goes together, but it does look pretty detailed, and you don't want to be too cavalier with the hobby knife.
Yeah, there's like a servitor in there loading missiles and stuff. Is that the one?
No, there's all kinds. It's a figure playing an organ, like actually playing an organ.
Yeah. It's intense.
Couldn't just have a button, could you? Nope.
Gotta play Beethoven's Fifth to shoot the missiles.
That's a little more than I want to deal with in the middle of the battle, but I'm also not trained in it.
Imagine just hitting the wrong note. Like, think about what hitting a bad note, like a sour note, when your organ is hooked to a missile launcher. Like, that's probably
scary. The difference between firing the 1 missile and the 6 missiles.
Yeah.
Hit a flat note.
Could you imagine seeing that? Yeah, just seeing that coming across the battlefield at you. Like, think about if you were in the army today and you were going to war, and here comes a tank over the hill, and you see some nun rocking out some classical music, and every time she hits her little foot pedal or something, missiles come flying at you.
I don't think that's any more ridiculous than what we have in other armies.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I think it is. Maybe not Space Marines, but like demons,
Space Marines definitely. Yeah,
the sloppity bile piper.
Yeah, but I mean, they're demons. They're supposed to be ridiculous, right? I mean,
well, I'm looking forward to it. I got plenty to keep me when I'm not searching for call, but building these models. I think I actually might fire up the Twitch and do like a let's build together type live stream. I don't know if anybody's interested in doing that. Let me know.
I've got a better idea. First off, yes, do that. Better idea. Fire up the Twitch stream, and then let's watch Paul look for Belisarius call. And it's just you for an hour straight rummaging through your phone bins. I will subscribe to that. I will watch that. We'll take shots like every time you find something that you weren't looking for and you go, there it is.
That would not be PG-13.
No, probably not.
You'd have to make your own channel for that.
Yeah, I'm not on mic.
But if anyone would like to, I don't know, tune in, spend some time or whatever, we're going to start doing the live streams. Red and Ricky, cool. You guys have both been on live streams. I feel like we've got this. We've got the technology on lock. We're going to start, I guess, of next week, publicizing and doing those at a regular time, and then whatever. Got to keep ourselves entertained.
Yeah, and I'm trying to grow a beard. I figure at almost 40 years old, it's time for puberty to kick in. So y'all can check on the progress on that. Spoiler alert, it's not that impressive. It is great, though.
We know what Ricky's been up to. Red, what have you been doing?
Oh, man. So, I mean, last time I was on, I talked about I've been working on Star Wars Legion with my son. He's playing Rebels, and I'm playing Imperials. So nice. We made some pretty good progress. He's about ready to start putting his stuff on the base. I'm a little more OCD, I guess, about my models and the detail I'm going with it. But I do recognize that I probably need to just let go of some things and not worry about the 8th layer of highlighting or anything, and just move on so we can play the game together. However, I've had to kind of table that because I am trying to get some significant headway done on my masters that I'm working on, which is in war game design. So I can't really complain. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it sounds like you got your hands full as well. I mean, you're not sending a probe to space or anything like Ricky.
No, not nearly as much as I don't feel like I'm as dedicated as Ricky is.
We can't all be space engineers, guys. Okay, we can't all do that. Okay, it's my cross to bear. I will hold that down. But hey, what you're doing sounds important too. Okay, but I mean, space engineer.
Well, one of the cool benefits of the live stream is that you actually got to see a glimpse of your stormtroopers that you were working on.
Yeah, they're coming along pretty well. That was I agree. I think it's going to be cool with the live stream being able to see some of the stuff, in play, I guess, or in progress as we're going through it. So that's pretty cool, man. So looking forward to seeing those myself. Forced
me to actually work through some of this hobby backlog.
Yeah, I think anything that can actually get me motivated to finish a project would be super duper.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people that believes like when you finish your backlog that you expire. I mean,
is that the theory?
Know what it's like either.
Yeah, I will live forever.
Oh, but I do again. It is nice to have that motivation to keep posting pictures and stuff. And now I've almost got everything rearranged. I don't know how many more models I'm going to lose during this process. Yeah.
See, you thought you were cleaning, but you're actually just throwing stuff away, and you don't realize it until it's too late.
Until it's way too late.
Yeah. Telling you.
But that's what the whole plan was, like, just get this like fresh landscape to then build back up from. And I seem to have, shot myself in the foot, but
yeah.
Can't let that.
You know what's great, Paul, is like now that you put this out, let's see here. This is going to come out probably Saturday or whenever. And so let's see, next trash day. When is your next trash day?
It's Monday.
So Monday, perfect. So everyone knows to check Paul's garbage on Monday. But while you're there, I mean, feel free to sort it for him if he has his recyclables in there. Make sure we're taking care of stuff. But I really want you to just put a camera on your trash can.
I don't think it's out there. I think, matter of fact, that if I did end up getting rid of it, it's already gone.
Yeah, but you're going to keep cleaning and you're going to keep throwing stuff away. And there's some thrifty Warhammer players that could use a new Baneblade or something, and there's probably just going to chuck one of those on accident.
It's
going to be in there.
There's a game, it's one of those little like table games. I think it's called Shea Dork. And
Shea Dork.
Yeah, and all the characters have a special ability. One of them is a collectible wargamer. And one of them has the dumpster dive ability. So this is
nice. Real thing.
Yeah. So these are like obviously archetypes,
Oh, I guess it is. Yeah. That's great.
It's a fun game.
I need to find this game. I've been dying to try to I've been looking for a board game. Like I'm trying to find something that's like cooperative dungeon crawl where your characters would level up or something. I know there's like a lot of games out there like that, but none of them really seem to be fitting exactly what I'm looking for me and the family. And I am dying for one right now.
Dude, Silver Towers cooperative level up type game.
Oh, I should say I'm dying for one that does not require me to put more models together.
Okay. You don't actually have to paint them, right?
Look, dude, we ain't even to that step, okay? Come back to the assembling all of the models. You know how many I still got on sprue? Remember my 8 Hellblasters just sitting in the closet that I didn't know I had? We just talked about this. Like, we have a problem, Paul. But yeah, Silver Tower did look fun.
Cooperative game. I offer this as a service. I will tailor board games to you.
For the low price of one Belisarius call?
You just have to. You have to give me some information that will lead to the discovery of one Belisarius call.
Oh my gosh! I feel like Robert Stack should do an Unsolved Mysteries. This is a big throwback to our older audience on where this is, and offer up the reward money for leading to the arrest of the person who threw Paul's Belisarius call away.
I will find you a board game that you and your family can play.
Okay. Mostly that I enjoy. I don't really care if they enjoy it, but I need to enjoy it. They can just deal with it.
Yep.
I'm really glad my wife doesn't listen to this.
But cooperative games there's a whole rash of them out there, so it's good times.
Yeah, and I even own some. I own some cooperative games, but nothing's really none of the games I own right now are scratching the itch.
Oh, do you have King Domino?
No. Is that just
a good one? That's good.
Is that just dominoes? Like, I mean, I have dominoes.
It's not. It's there's some gameplay element to it. There's some. There's an essence of it that is domino, but there's some gameplay to it that is it's good for lots of different ages.
Yeah, it's kind of like a junior Carcassonne almost to a certain extent.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
You put tiles together, and this one's a little more advanced, I'd say, than Carcassonne, because it's not just however many little roads you finish or whatever.
Yeah,
it's however many you put together. There's some multiplier effects to it. It's pretty good.
It's not like really cooperative, but it's also not like super cutthroat either.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that might be something the family likes. At this point, I'm about to pull out Formula D, and just since they canceled Formula 1, I'm about to just make my family participate in an entire season of that, and I'll just pretend that that's my racing.
That is a fun game.
For this year. Formula D is the best. Yeah. And we took it one time. We were on orders up in DC, and we were stuck in this National Guard armory for like a week straight. And we stayed up till about 2 a.m. every night racing with like 10 people playing this board game. And we ran like a full season. And it was the most fun I've had with a board game in years. So I highly recommend Formula D if anybody is trapped at home with about 5 people.
It is. I like it that you can actually get risky. How the game works is that you're a race car driver, Formula 1 race car driver. Your gears are represented by die rolls. So like gear 1, you're rolling a D4.
Yep.
Second gear, it's a D6. Third gear, D8, so on and so forth.
Yep.
And then you've got so how many steps you move, and then the game is based off the strategies where you end your move. Like if you end your move in a certain area or something, then
you can take this right. Yeah. So sixth gear is like a 30-sided die, and and depending on what you want to the mechanic is you have a little gear shift, and the gear you're in determines how far you can move, but you're limited by the fact that you have to end your move in these turns. So in a turn, you would have to end your move in there. So you have to strategize out like exactly what gear you want to go in order to end your turn in these each of these curves.
You can't enter and exit a turn in the same move or something, I think is what it is.
Yeah, basically to an extent. Yeah, but and you take tire damage or transmission damage if you gear down too far and stuff. There's a lot of resource management in it, and then there's also the die roll, and it is just insanely fun, and it's one of my favorite board games I've ever played. So I highly recommend that game. Can't recommend it enough. And they put out additional tracks, a little track pack that has each one has additional tracks. So you're not racing the same track all the time. And it is fun. I don't recommend it if it's just 2 players. I think 2 players is kind of a boring experience, but the more players you get in that game, the more exciting it is. And, it's a really well put together board game.
All right. If, your family needs a little cutthroat action, you can play Diplomacy, which has no die rolls.
No, we're not doing
Everyone
that.
just has to do what they say they're going to do in the game and never betray each other.
Is that how it works?
That's how it works. That's how it's supposed to work, but that's not how it works.
Yeah.
There's no random roll. It is all everyone puts in their turn, and then one person reads the turns out and makes the moves. And if someone didn't lend support where they were supposed to, or someone went to, into a country they said they weren't going to, or whatever, then basically all-out war starts around the table.
There you go. And that's how families fall apart. Hey, how are we talking about board games and we haven't mentioned the fact that this 40k Risk is coming out?
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
Did you see the map?
Yeah, It's very interesting.
Oh, I want to see this.
It's different. Now. It's not the the world map. The only thing that I'm put off by about this game, and I don't like to.
Here we go.
Right? But the blue player is named Marnius Calgar.
Yep.
The Chaos player is named Abaddon the Despoiler. The Eldar player is named Autark. The Orc player is named Warboss.
We couldn't take any of the named characters.
This might be a work in progress shot. Like I just looked at the picture.
It's coming out. Yeah, it's coming out. It's definitely not for release yet. So I'm interested to see what that means. So maybe
we get some names on those characters.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Eldrad or
Big Gazgul.
Maybe not Gazgul. I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't even. It seemed like they took it below the Primarch, but whatever. Just need that. Want that character. But yeah, Risk is awesome.
I would prefer to see. Let's get a 40k Axis and Allies going. That would be some brutal fun there if you have 18 hours to invest.
No lie, I would like to see, what is it, the not the cleansing or whatever, but the Unification Wars. That's it, the Unification Wars.
Oh yeah.
I'd love to see a game of that, a board game.
Like the Emperor on Earth with the Thunder Warriors, like bringing it all together.
Yeah, either that you're like it's a game where you're playing against the Emperor, like the Emperor is almost like the NPC that just has moves that they do or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or it is
you just lose at the end of the game no matter what.
Or you don't, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's depends on the
I mean, it doesn't matter which side you're on. You're dead. Poor Thunder Warriors never had a chance.
They weren't meant to be.
Yeah,
the candle
that
burned.
Would you have signed? Oh my gosh, yeah, but like, would you have signed up for that? I don't know. Hey, you're either going to die in war or you'll die after the victory celebration. Sign this contract.
I'm sure it was a weapons malfunction.
Yeah. It wasn't the fact that they were genetically coded to expire. Had nothing to do with that.
It does seem weird, right?
Oh no, they were straight up programmed. Like they were programmed to die. That's what it was.
But I think that's what one of the things that would make the board game so compelling, because think of the heinousness of stuff on Earth that needed a Thunder Warrior to root out.
Man, Paul, you are on some like Blade Runner levels here.
Let's see it. Let's see it happen.
I mean, and then there was I think that there's some story about the last warlord that the Emperor overthrew. It was touch and go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I want to know. Who is that guy that the Emperor couldn't just go in and be like, okay, die?
Yeah, couldn't one-man army it. Couldn't go in there and psychically zap him.
But that's some of the crazy stuff, right? And so, like, I don't know if you need to do but you guys know about Malkador, right?
Vaguely.
I mean, what do you mean that he's...
So he exists, right? But he's the sigillite, but like his background...
no spoilers.
Yeah, I can't even go into it, right?
Okay.
But like that's we won't do another spoiler jump or anything, but like I highly recommend if anybody gets the time, go find the Black Library Horus Heresy book where it talks about Malkador. And I know that's kind of like a shotgun spread because he shows up everywhere. But I'm telling you,
some dude's going to read 15 books and be like, stinking red.
Dude, it is amazing, and he is awesome.
It's called the Sigillite? Is this like the short story or something?
So yeah. So there's I'll have to double check, and by next time maybe I'll have looked it up. But it is a short story, and it's essentially an encounter between him and one of the Primarchs, where one of the Primarchs talks to him about his background, and his background is in light. I'm a huge I love like the background with the Emperor. Like, you're talking about the Unification Wars and all that. I love following how all that came together and everything that it took to make that happen. Because it like you said, Paul, definitely that was quite the endeavor.
I think we just have to hold on here, guys, because if you think about it, Warhammer 40,000, everybody loved it, and there was this just little tidbit, this little nugget there about the Horus Heresy, right? And then it grew and it grew and it grew, and then all of a sudden, finally, enough interest was generated by the people who loved 40k for them to go ahead and do the 30k stuff, all the Horus Heresy stuff, and the game and the books and all the stuff. Okay, well, eventually 30k is going to build up. And it's going to become mainstream enough to where they say, we need the next niche thing for Forge World to take on. And it's going to be the Unification Wars. You're set. Red, you just have to make it to about 100 years old-ish. And we will see this. And then we will play the Unification Wars miniatures game. It's going to be great.
Can't wait.
Well, you better. You're going to have to, because that probably isn't happening.
Hey, you never know.
I would play that. That would be cool. Like Thunder Warriors fighting off some like mutant dudes out in the wastelands of North American continent. That would be pretty cool. I think that's Judge Dredd though, right?
I kind of like what you just described. Kind of remind me of like the most recent Mad Max kind of deal.
Oh my gosh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, that's like the base
cool
level that humans kind of gotten to, like almost like human orcs almost.
The Emperor is nothing more than just Max. He's Mad Max. That's it.
I bet he was.
He about have to be to survive all that.
It was before Mel Gibson went super crazy.
Oh, man. Dude, I'm telling you, like, I did not love the old Mad Max movies. They were just a bit out there for me. I didn't love them. I'm sorry. Send all your hate mail to Paul Murphy. What's your Twitter called? But, dude, the Fury Road is hands down one of the greatest things I've ever seen that my eye holes have ever absorbed.
Yeah, it was visually really good. There was
I remember I sat down to that movie and like 10 minutes into it or whatever. I remember like looking over at my buddy and I was like, what are we watching? And we just sat there with our mouths open, just like, this is the best. I would just like you watch a Fast and Furious movie and just enjoy the spectacle. I would do that with every Mad Max movie that ever comes out if they're all like Fury Road. That thing was awesome. And I just want to see Fury Road with Thunder Warriors and a dude in gold armor. Let's see that. Yeah, let's see that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Is that too much to ask?
We'll start a petition.
Is that too much to ask? GW, is that are you saying can't do that?
Just need a box set with a semi and the Emperor.
Yes. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
Price it like Smaug.
Oh man, yeah. So the 3 people that buy it will be very happy.
We've significantly water all over the map.
What? No. I weep for you thinking about the fact that you have to edit this.
Oh, it's gonna be pretty much train of thought. We'll be all right.
Yeah. Stream of consciousness. Just name the episode Stream of Consciousness. Let it ride.
I think we get one every now and then. Hopefully the listeners will indulge us this once. And I know everyone's like, this is not just this once, Paul.
Yeah, no, it's like you can tell it's going to be one of those episodes when Paul says, hey, everybody, welcome to Forge a Narrative. I'm your host, Paul Murphy, and I'm joined tonight by Ricky Addington. And then you pretty much just know that that's coming, right?
I mean, at least you're consistent, Ricky.
Yeah. You know what you're getting with a Ricky episode, and it's not quality Warhammer analysis.
One day. We'll get you there.
One day, yeah. Maybe.
I mean, I've enjoyed it, Ricky. I've enjoyed it.
Oh, good, yeah. As I sit here and plan out my Kroot army. That's what the people want to hear about.
The Kroot.
Ricky's Kroot passion project.
Yeah. Well, working on as far as like hobby stuff goes, going to continue to work on the orcs, and that's what I'm going to be a lot closer to competitive orcs. I mean, if there is such a thing.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
I think let me tell you from my experience lately is that orcs don't win at all, but then they drop down there into about the midfield, and then they just wreck some people. And their name is usually Ricky Addington, because I keep getting my butt kicked by orcs, but I'm always down somewhere, midfield or lower, because I'm bringing something thematic or fluffy or just fun, or hey, let's blow the dust off of this. And next thing you know, what was that big giant mecha dread thing that I was talking about?
Basically, the big giant mecha dread. Yeah, you nailed it.
That thing. Yeah, that. Just take a bunch of those. I don't know how they're losing with those in your army, because those things are good.
I bet I do. So, okay, building up all this Blood Angels, and then Blood Angels are really good right now, and I'm not getting to really get out and wreck face with them. So
that's the worst.
But I have to keep moving like a shark. I always got to keep moving with the hobby stuff. So that's why I'm building all this other stuff. I really would just like to be focused on playing them, but I've got them all. That's done. So I want to keep my skills sharp. So I'm continuing to build and paint things.
Yeah, I really need to actually just do something Warhammer related. I haven't painted in weeks.
I found a fair amount of Dark Angels. I thought about you the other day.
Oh, thanks, man. Were you chopping them up and putting them down as basing material for something?
I just threw them right away. No.
You suck. I know where I'll be Monday morning.
Yeah, there are some Dark Angel TAC Marines out there.
Oh my gosh! Oh, I have a whole
Terminators and the bikes.
I have the entire third company of Marines, and I don't know what to do with them because I'm not going to play them because Primaris are out. So what do you do with 100 green Marines that you're never going to use again?
Play 30K. You put a little Null oil on them.
Can't. They were black then. That's the most annoying thing about it. Stinking Ultramarines. They kept their armor the same. Blood Angels kept their armor. 2 coats. Just dip them in it. Just leave it. Don't even shake it off.
And you've got a 30K ready army. 2.5 coats of known oil. Contrast, Black Templar.
Yeah. It'll be fine. Spray paint them.
I will say is, being someone who's always liked the aesthetic of the older armor, I've built like all my Marine armies to have the older armor. So it just kind of worked out that all my attack Marines have Heresy style armor.
Yeah. See, it goes that way. It comes from 30K to 40K. Great. You can't really go from 40K to 30K. It just doesn't work. So, and then, Dark Angels double down and, change their color scheme. So you definitely can't do it. I say that like every single Chaos player isn't like, yeah, okay, shut up. Because obviously theirs all changed.
Well, this is going to be a little bit of a short episode tonight.
Is it? Because I rambled a lot.
But I feel like, this has been nice. It's been a nice distraction from everything. I know that, online shopping for things is sometimes, new. First time recently I bought online groceries.
Ooh, how is that? That's weird, right?
Yeah, but honestly, it's not that much different.
I don't know. I know that people stock the shelves and they put the things on the shelves. I know that they don't just magically appear there, but for some reason it bothers me to think that people are touching my groceries.
It could be. Yeah, look, hey, that's part of it. They got this is an adjustment period. So hopefully this is, everybody or all the people that have had to make some adjustments like that, I hope this has been a nice distraction from anything like that. And if anyone wants to chat 40K that we didn't manage to get to on the show, feel free to.
Oh, crap. This is a 40K podcast. Yeah, we should have said something.
It's okay. We've put out our desire for a Unification War board game out into the ether.
There it is. And it's going to get announced.
Re-inspired myself to go search again for Belisarius Call.
I'm going to be like deep diving like about the Unification Wars. Like the Warhammer fandom wiki is about to get lit up right now with some Unification War stuff.
Let me know the name of that last warlord.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm going to start Googling it. I'm going to wait till we're done recording.
Well, Red.
I'm telling you, if you haven't seen that stuff on Malkador, Ricky, you should go look that up.
Already got that page pulled up, Red. I'm already reading about it. I'm going to mute myself. Y'all talk about Warhammer.
We might as well go ahead and wrap this up. Thank y'all for hanging in here with us. We're going to be back next week with live streams, hobby stuff, and actual 40K related content.
And then we might actually talk about brutal rulers such as the warlord Caligan of Ursh, Cardinal Tang, and Narthan Doom. Those are 3 of the warlords that the Emperor wiped out. Just so you know, Unification Wars. Read up on it. Tell your friends.
Well, Red and Ricky, thanks a lot for joining me this evening.
Wash your hands, everybody. I love you all. Stay safe.
Thanks for having us, Paul.
Go ahead, make my day.